Week 4 preview. Here we come. We're going to chat Thursday night game. Jacksonville at Cincy. Let's go Jacksonville first. What we got?
Coming off a tough loss. It was close for most of this game, to be honest. They had the lead for a little bit going into halftime. Then it fell apart. The defense looks good at times. Same with the offense. It's just hard for them to string things together. Lawrence, again, 2 interceptions in this game, only 1 passing touchdown. Again, one of them was bad. One of them wasn't that bad. I really wish they had wide receiver error stats or offensive player error stats, so they don't go against the quarterbacks.
We've been talking about
when
this.
A wide receiver deflects the ball in the air or he can't make a play. I wish they had that, but they don't, so it gets credited to Trevor Lawrence. James Robinson, big game though.
Yes.
A lot of receiving work. 6 targets, 6 receptions, 46 receiving yards, 88 yards on the ground on 15 carries with a touchdown. Robinson's a mid to low end RB2 for this game against
Cincy.
Yeah, Cincy, my bad. And Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones looks good. He is by far the best receiver on this team. Caught 6 of his 8 targets for 62 yards. Chark's the one that got in the end zone. But I'm playing Marvin Jones as a low end wide receiver too. That connection's strong. I think it's going to keep going against Cincinnati. And you're not playing Lawrence or anyone else on this team.
Yeah, I mean, you may toss Chark in as a flex if you're desperate.
Again,
but
he just got the end zone. He caught 3 passes, 49 yards. Had a bad drop in this game too.
He did. He's having really bad drops now.
Yep.
Nice play. Sorry, we're also watching the Monday night game. But yeah, I mean, he is getting the end zone. He's still getting targeted, but he's just not getting the receptions.
I'm not personally willing to play DJ
I have
Chark.
him in Dynasty, and he's on my bench, so I did not even draft him. All right, let's look at Cincy.
Cincinnati. If you haven't been watching Cincinnati games, you need to watch them. They are honestly fun to watch. The defense
He implores you.
Yeah, I implore you. This is our second take. I used that earlier and then pressed Caleb.
Yeah,
I
it's
can
my
use
bad.
some $5 words sometimes.
Yeah, sure. Continue.
Bengals. Fun to watch. Burrow's coming off a pretty good game. 3 passing touchdowns, only 172 yards. My monster quarterback of this week. I like Burrow. Mixon, another great game. Stats sheet-wise, it's not going to blow you away. But just if you watch the Bengals games, like I tell you to, he looks incredible. This is probably his best 3-game stretch so far of his career. Hopefully T. Higgins is back for this game, but without him, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd both had good games.
Yeah. Do you see Jamar Chase starting to take over this offense now?
He is, but Jamar Chase, I'm debating because next week we were planning on doing some trade target people to target in trades, and some people do trade away. And Jamar Chase might be one guy I might tell you to trade away. Some of his underlying statistics from him are kind of concerning.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has 11 receptions on the season, but has 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, hyper efficiency type.
Very hyper efficient. He's got 220 yards, which is good. He's averaging 20 yards per catch. But he just needs to be targeted more. He can handle it. And if you didn't see one of his touchdown grabs, I'll put that one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Just snagged it out of the air, running full speed in the back of the end zone. Great play. He's super talented. You're playing Chase in this game as a low-end wide receiver too, with or without Higgins. Higgins out there. How do you feel about Higgins?
Well, normally I really like T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins is the guy that's more of that possession type receiver that's getting the targets. But it just kind of depends. I always like to give it at least a week when someone comes back.
Yeah.
just to make sure. But I would still rather play T. Higgins because he just gets the receptions.
I would rather play Chase regardless. I'm playing Chase. Boyd and Higgins are both flex plays in this game because I think this is going to be one of those offense where most weeks 2 of the receivers do good, but one of them's going to be left out. So and Boyd, past couple games, he's had some big catches, hasn't been seeing a ton of targets, caught 4 receptions in the last week against Pittsburgh for 36 yards. He got in the end zone. He is a good receiver, but he's definitely the 3rd best receiver on this team, which sucks.
Right. All right. Next game.
Yep.
Washington at Atlanta.
Washington.
Oh boy.
They did not have a great time against the Bills last week. No one really did anything. Taylor Heineke can move though. He's
He's
a
very mobile, yeah.
capable rushing quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Did throw 2 interceptions last week. Terry McLaurin was stifled a little bit. Only caught 4 of his 7 targets for 62 yards. Not a terrible game, but need to haul in a little bit more. Antonio Gibson. Oh, if you didn't watch the Monster Guys video,
check it out.
I'll put it in here again. I'll do twice the work just because of how incredible it was. 73-yard reception for a touchdown.
Yep. Awesome.
Very awesome.
Yep.
This game, Antonio Gibson, we love. I love Terry McLaurin in this game against Atlanta. And Logan Thomas is a very good tight end play against Atlanta. I honestly think in a DFS lineup, if you're in a tournament, you could maybe throw like a Taylor Heineke, Terry McLaurin stack, or maybe even add Logan Thomas in there. The prices are right. You could get crazy and do it if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, especially against this Atlanta defense, man. I think you can go. The one thing, though, is, Gibson's getting a little frustrating. 12 carries for 31 yards. I just want to see him start to be a little bit more efficient.
Yeah.
Because it's starting to worry me with J.D. McKissick, who's, he's not getting as many carries, but he's definitely way more efficient when he is getting those touches. So I don't want to see anything happen.
Okay. You want to talk Atlanta?
Yeah, we can go Atlanta. We have to readdress that, once again, Kyle Pitts did not get a freaking catch until the fourth quarter in this game.
Yeah.
And we are still trying to figure out why. So
I don't know.
I don't understand. I don't know what they're doing down in Atlanta. I know all of the Atlanta people hate us right now, but that's fine. Put up these hate blockers. What are you going to do? Nothing. Matt Ryan, he's not doing terrible. 243 yards, two touchdowns on the game. It's not bad, but there's
no upside in this offense right now. I'm not touching a running back unless maybe his name's Cordell Patterson.
And he's not even a running back. He's a wide receiver.
He's a running back in most platforms as well. He's the dual thing. You could throw him out there as a high-end flex play because he's seeing enough work. 7 carries. His rushing efficiency isn't good, but when you counteract it with his receiving work, he's a playable player. Calvin Ridley, he hasn't had an explosive game yet, but he has been good this season. 8 receptions for 61 yards in this game. Kyle Pitts, again, only caught 2 passes for 35 yards.
Yep.
I'm playing Calvin Ridley. Still playing him as a low-end wide receiver 1. He sees the targets. He's talented. Washington's defense is scary, but they've also let some things happen so far this year.
Yeah.
And then I'm still playing Kyle Pitts as a mid-tight end 1. It's got to happen.
The thing is, though, is like we've all known this. We said this when we did our video talking about Kyle Pitts and tight ends. Rookie tight ends, they do not come out, doesn't matter how talented they are, and light the world on fire. They just don't. And you see in this game where, don't get me wrong, one of the most underrated things about the New York Giants football team right now, their defense is solid.
At times.
They're true, but I feel like it's way more consistent than their offense.
Yeah.
But their defense is not bad. But I don't know what Atlanta's trying to do. Like, when you have your number 1 receiver is technically a running back, Calvin Ridley got 11 targets, but then past Cordell Patterson, you're still trying to figure out who that next guy is.
Yeah.
Why is it not Kyle Pitts?
I don't know.
Why is he not seeing at least 7 or 8 targets a game? I just don't get. I don't get it. It's that obvious. I feel like.
Oh yeah, because when he gets the ball in his hands, he makes plays.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, 2 receptions for 35 yards. That's a hell of a game.
Yeah.
He just needs more. So very frustrated with this Atlanta team. Sorry, all of you Atlanta fans, but definitely irritated.
Yep.
You got anything else?
No, I want to go to the next game.
All right, Texans Bills.
Texans.
Yep.
It was bad for Davis Mills. I'll give him. He had one really good drive going into halftime. He took him all the way down the field, did it all with his arm, scored a touchdown. He's had one good NFL drive so far. That's about it. Brandon Cooks.
Still doing it, though.
Still doing it. He is a wide receiver 2 right now. Play him. He's getting the targets. He looks great with the ball in his hands. I will say shout out Anthony Miller. He had a couple good catches in that game. You're not playing him. You don't need to roster him. I just want to shout him out.
I'm just glad he's He's doing
Yeah, he
something.
had a couple good catches in that game. But that's it. You're just playing Brandon Cooks. And the other side of this game, Buffalo. Buffalo's coming off back-to-back demolishings of teams. Josh Allen had a great game. 4 passing touchdowns. Also had a rushing touchdown. Receiving game-wise, though, Diggs hasn't been incredible this year, though. He still saw 10 targets in this game, caught 6 of them for 62 yards. Emmanuel Sanders just came down with the 2 touchdowns, had some big plays, caught 5 of his 6 targets, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. The rest of the work was scattered around. Dawson Knox had a little bit. He got in the touchdown. Zach Moss had a little bit of the receiving work, got in the touchdown. As far as the running backs go, Moss was just the better running back in this game. He saw more work. He was more efficient. He did better than Devin Singletary.
But I feel like this is what we deal with almost every game.
We did all last year, and this is why I tell you not to get into it.
So we say this every year: don't draft one of these guys because it's as simple as you're having to guess who's going to be the hot guy that week. Which is why we're both surprised that they still didn't go get a running back.
Yeah.
Because they can't even choose between the 2 they have.
Yep. Yeah, you're playing Josh Allen. You're playing Stephon Diggs. Still, if I'm picking a second receiver, it'd be Cole Beasley. He saw 13 targets in this game, 11 receptions for 98 yards.
Yeah.
I'm playing him
He was
as
a leading receiver.
Yeah, as a high-end flex play. And if you have to pick a running back, right now it's Zach Moss. Next week, I could be telling you it's Devin Singletary.
Yeah, I always would go Zach Moss just because I do think he's the better running back, but
I mean, I've watched so many. I watched them both so much now, and I still don't.
They're very
really
similar.
know which one's better.
They're very similar in my opinion, but I just think Zach Moss is a little bit better. But Buffalo don't know. Let's be honest. Who's the best rusher on the team? Josh Allen.
He's the most dangerous, for sure.
All right, you got anything else you want to add?
No.
All right, Lions Bears.
This one could be pretty quick. Lions, if you haven't fully realized yet, DeAndre Swift's going off. DeAndre Swift is incredible. DeAndre Swift, I'm really starting to like him. I've even been thinking about sending major trade offers out for him in most leagues. And you want to know why? There's a little secret why. He's seen 23 targets on the season, caught 19 of them for 166 yards and a touchdown. When we were doing our running back rankings, I said, I'm betting DeAndre Swift has 80-plus targets this season. And if he gets that, he's going to be a top-end running back. Yep. He is on pace to shatter that. They are using him all over the field. He is their best receiver. Yep. I think he's a better receiver than TJ Hawkinson for them. He looks incredible. And, by the way, they're giving him a ton of rushing attempts as well. He's still the leading rusher on the team. DeAndre Swift's killing it. DeAndre Swift is a low-end RB1 right now.
Yeah, man. I actually really like, I guess, to me, I guess Detroit's come out and realized we don't really have any good wide receivers because they, drafted most of them.
You don't like Khalif Raymond?
No. Oh. Or Quintez Cephas or Amon-Ra St. Brown. None of them. I don't really care. But what's crazy is I feel like they've realized, okay, we don't have anybody really to put out there besides TJ. So let's just take the 2 decent running backs honestly, I mean, they got Jamal Williams too, who's also having a pretty good season.
Yeah.
In retrospect. We got these 2 good running backs.
You can throw Jamal Williams out in the flex most weeks.
Well, and then you can just simultaneously have them both on the field, put one in the slot.
That's what they do.
At the back. Yeah.
Jamal Williams, when he's lining up in the running back slot a lot, DeAndre Swift's out there as a wide receiver.
Yeah. Or out wide. Yeah. So, dude, you got to do what you got to do to win games. And unfortunately,
almost did it.
Yep. If it wasn't for this freaking 66-yard field goal that if it was a centimeter shorter would not have gone in.
I mean, when you if you in 50 years now, if you had to go back and I want to look at the longest field goal ever kicked in an NFL game.
We watched it.
You expect it to be wow, that was close. That was as close as you can get.
Yeah. Yeah. This is crazy. But unfortunately, they ended up losing. But I do like, at least they're game scripting. And DeAndre Swift, seriously, if you don't have him, you're going to need to give a lot up to get him.
20 touches a game right now.
Dude, he's
efficient.
If he keeps the same pace, he's top 5, if not top 3. I'm putting him there.
I mean, you can maybe do that now if he's going to get his head start on Dalvin Cook and CMC.
And Dalvin Cook and CMC are both missing time.
Yeah.
And Derrick Henry, even though, and we'll talk about him later, he's getting some receptions this year.
Yes, we
He's
will
not
talk
getting
about
this.
that later. No.
So he could be up there.
Yeah. Like, low end RB1 right now. Jamal Williams, flex play. TJ Hawkinson, high end tight end 1.
All right, let's go to the Bears.
Bears. It's been really tough for Allen Robinson owners. I understand. I know the pain. I am one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep playing him, though.
Yeah.
There's nothing else you could do.
You don't have to, but you should.
Yes, you should.
Especially this week.
They've run into a lot of tough matchups. And again, the Bears had 9. Justin Fields got sacked 9 times in this game.
Yeah, stupid, man.
He only completed 6 passes on 20 attempts. His QBR was 6. If you didn't know, that is awful. That is really bad. I'm actually just going to take 1 second because the Bears also had a ton of sacks in this game. So I want to calculate how many sacks were total in this game. Oh, wow. 14 sacks in this game between the 2 teams.
Yeah.
That is aggressive.
Yeah. You also got to look at how many times Justin Fields was under pressure.
Oh, you mean every snap?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he was literally running for his freaking life back there.
Honestly, watching the game, I knew Allen Robinson only had 2 receptions for 27 yards, but the 6 targets, you could have told me he had 3 targets. Like, It was awful. No one for the Bears did anything. Montgomery had a couple plays where he shined, but they were down. They just couldn't keep going. So
he's not in.
Yeah.
He's not in. We're good.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm focusing on this right now.
I'm sorry. I'm watching the Monday night game too. So
I'll watch it later. You play Montgomery, high in RB2 right now. He still looks good out there when he's got the ball in his hands. Allen Robinson, mid to low end wide receiver 2 right now. Mooney for this game.
I don't know about Mooney for this game.
This is your Justin Fields shot call.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm shot calling. You're hearing it first right here. Justin Fields is going to have a monster game this week. I think they're going to figure it out. I think what happened is I don't know what was going on with that offensive line. They were just getting blown up literally.
It was mostly
every
Myles
play.
Garrett.
Because honestly, if you also look, they couldn't run the football either. They couldn't do
they
anything.
just didn't really try either.
I'm blaming Matt Nagy.
Yeah, I'm always good with blaming Matt Nagy.
I mean, forget the guy. Shout out to Matt Nagy. You shouldn't have a job. I don't think they game script really well for him to succeed.
No.
I just don't. I don't think they did it well at all. He didn't have any they wouldn't even let him run. He needs to run. He needs to be out in space. He needs to be able to get the ball downfield.
I mean, yeah, half his rushing yardage came on one run.
Yeah, it's just. But I think this week they'll get it figured out against Detroit, and I don't think Darnell Mooney would be a solid play, but I do think if you want to play Allen Robinson, you definitely should play him this week.
Oh yeah, you have to play Allen Robinson
because Justin Fields is going to be back.
Okay,
and when he does have a monster week, I'll go buy his jersey. Thank you for watching the Fantasy Monsters on YouTube. If you liked today's episode, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel below. We also have a merch store we want you to check out with all new gear that we've got available. That'll be in the description. Also, if you want to see any past videos, you can check that out as well. Thank you so much for watching the Fantasy Monsters. We'll catch you next time.
Have a go.